Good day, Grade 8 collections. I am MILKIE V. Reyes, your MAPE teacher from Francisco P. Felix Memorial National High School. I hope you are doing great. This video lesson will help you to understand our lesson in music for today. But before we start, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click the bell button for more video and updates.
For today's lesson, here's the most essential learning competency. Explores ways of producing sound and make an improvised instrument. With the following objectives: Number 1, identify the characteristic music and musical instruments of India. Number 2, create improvised musical instrument using recyclable materials. Number 3, appreciate the traditional music and musical instruments of India.
Before we proceed to our topic for today, let's have a short recap with our previous lesson. I'm going to show some features of instruments, and all you have to do is to identify it according to their classification. Number 1, koto. And here's your choices. Letter A, aerophone, B, membranophone, C, idiophone, or letter D, chordophone. The correct answer is letter D. Good job! Number 2, odaico. And here's your choices. Letter A, aerophone, B, membranophone, C, idiophone, or letter D, chordophone. The correct answer is letter B. Very nice. And number 3, shakuhachi. And here's your choices. Letter A, aerophone, B, membranophone, C, idiophone, or letter D, chordophone. The correct answer is letter A. Very good. Now, let's move on to our lesson for today. Our topic for today is the vocal and musical instruments of India.
India is the largest country in South Asia. Its music is as vast as its geographic location and as large as its demographic population. The music of India reflects different aspects of Asian culture through its timbre, rhythm, melody, texture, form, and style. In general, Indian music remains fundamental to the lives of the people of India as a source of spiritual inspiration, cultural expression, and entertainment. Indian vocal music. India's classical music tradition includes Carnatic and Hindustani music, which have developed over many centuries. Music of India also includes several types of folk and popular music. Characteristics of traditional music from India. Number 1, Carnatic music refers to music from South India directed to a Hindu god, which is why it is called temple music. Unlike Hindustani music, Carnatic music is unified where schools are based on the same ragas, the same solo instruments, veena, flute, violin, and the same rhythm instrument, mridangam and ghatam. Music pieces are mainly set for the voice and with lyrics compositions called kirti or devotional songs. Let's hear the example of Carnatic music. Number 2, Hindustani music goes back to Vedic period times around 1000 BC, further developed in the 13th and 14th centuries AD with Persian influences and from existing religious and folk music, predominantly found in the northern and central regions. Influenced by ancient Hindu musical traditions, historical Vedic religion, Vedic philosophy, native Indian sounds, and enriched by the Persian performance practice of the Mughal era. Nasal singing is observed in their vocal music in North India. The most common style of singing is called khyal, a word which means imagination. And here's the example of Hindustani music. There are many musical instruments in India. Some instruments are used primarily in North India music, Hindustani Sangeet, while many other instruments are used in South Indian music or Carnatic Sangeet. Instrumental music is often similar to vocal music, but sometimes they have distinctive instrumental styles. There are 5 known traditional systems for classification of instruments. The first one is gun, described as a non-membranous percussive instrument but with solid resonators. It is one of the oldest classes of instrument in India. It may also be a melodic instrument or instruments to keep tal. Under gun, we have gatam, karta, manjira, and naut. The second one, we have abanaj, described as a membranous percussive instrument. This class of instruments typically comprise the drums. Under abanaj, we have daf, the tabla, and the dole. The third one, we have sushir, also known as blown air. It is characterized by the use of air to excite the various resonators. Under sushir, we have bansuri, shenai, shanka, and suparti. The fourth one, we have tat. It is referred to as veena during the old civilization. Instruments in this class are plak, or string instruments. Under tat, we have sitar, ektar, gotovajam, rabab, and gopichan. And the last one, we have what we call the vitat, described as both string instruments. This is one of the oldest classifications of instruments and yet did not occupy a place in classical Indian music until the last few centuries. Under vitat, we have banam, esraj, sarangi, and chikara. Rhythm plays an important role in Indian music. It is fundamental to the creation of any musical system. Certainly, from historical standpoint, rhythm existed many centuries ago before the word rag was ever used. Given his historical preeminence, it is not surprising that rhythm occupies an important position in the Indian system of music. Sadly, that India hit a millions of cases of COVID-19, 100,000 of cases within 24 hours. We hope and we pray that India will overcome these trial times, while many of us can stay safe in our homes and keep safe distance from the cause of it. There are many who are at the front lines, battling it out and risking their lives to ensure that we all can stay safe and win this battle. In this time of pandemic, let's help each other. Follow always the health protocols and other health guidelines to avoid the spreading out of the virus. I know that one day we will finally get through this and our lives are finally getting back in normal.
Now that you are already familiar with the 5 known traditional system for classification of Indian instruments, let's have activity. You're going to give the name of the following Indian musical instruments by arranging the jumbled letters that I'm going to show. Can you guess what instrument is this? Number 1. Very good. This instrument is called sitar. Number 2. Nice one. This instrument is called tabla. Number 3. Your answer is correct. This instrument is called manjira. Number 4. Very good. This instrument is called dole. And number 5. Your answer is correct. This instrument is called chikara. Great job, Felicians. It seems that you listened well with this video lesson. For your next task, let's have a short quiz. Answer the following questions and choose the letter of the correct answer. Number 1. Described as a membranous percussive instrument, this class of instruments typically comprise the drums. Letter A. Tat. B. Bitat. C. Avanage, or letter D. Sushir. Number 2. Described as a non-membranous percussive instrument but with solid resonators. It is one of the oldest classes of instrument in India. Letter A. Tat. B. Vitat. C. Avanage, or letter D. Gun. Number 3. It also known as blown air. It is characterized by the use of air to excite the various resonators. Letter A. Sushir. B. Tat. C. Vitat, or letter D. Avalanche. Number 4. It refers to as vina during the old civilization. Instruments in this class are pluck or string instruments. Letter A. Sushir. B. Tat. C. Vitat, or letter D. Avalanche. And number 5. It described as bowed instruments. This is one of the oldest classifications of instruments and yet did not occupy a place in classical Indian music until the last few centuries. Letter A. Tat. B. Vitat. C. Avanage, or letter D. Gun. Let's check your answer. Number 1. C. 2. Letter D. 3. Letter A. 4. Letter B. And number 5. Letter B. Great job, Felicians. Who got the perfect score? Very nice. Who got 4? Nice one. And who got 3 and below? That's okay. Let's try to get high score next time. If you have questions or clarifications about our lesson, just chat or message your MAPI teacher to answer your queries.
Let's try this at home. Make an improvised instrument using recyclable materials and pass it to your MAPI teacher. Follow the criteria below.
I hope you learned a lot from our lesson today. Thank you for watching. Goodbye!